San Diego Comic-Con is over. I just got back from it, and this is going to be a recap, a review, and just in general, is San Diego Comic-Con worth your time? It's going to be a lot of fun tidbits. I'm going to go through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all the days that I went through there. And I do have smaller videos coming out over on my TikTok, Instagram, and some of them will appear on this YouTube channel. So if you want the full wide range of everything that I experienced at Comic-Con, definitely go check those out. But in this video, it's more laid back. Like, if you've never been to San Diego Comic-Con, what could you expect? Is it worth your time and money? I'm also going to show you what I also picked up, some cool things that are free, which, like this hat, if you get into Hall H, you get some cool free things. So, this is going to be a fun video. If you are new here and you enjoy talking content, movies, TV, and you're just a geek like me, this is the right channel. Hit that like and subscribe button, and let's start this out. So, Comic-Con. What is San Diego Comic-Con? Well, for me, it is the biggest convention that I've ever been to. It's bigger than the Star Wars Celebration. It's bigger than any local Comic-Cons that I've been just in my state, because I live in Phoenix, Arizona, so it's bigger than Phoenix Fan Fusion or whatever they call it now. San Diego Comic-Con is the biggest place, if you are a geek, to go to, because it celebrates all sorts of fandom and geekdom. That is comic books, that is superheroes, that is sometimes even Star Wars, sometimes even anime, all those wide ranges. You are seen here. Dungeons & Dragons players, role players, all sorts of things. And it's one of the few things that I've always loved about San Diego Comic-Con, because this is my second year going, is what it means to be a fan, what it means to be a geek. That almost every single person you talk to, like waiting in line, probably there for the same damn reason you are. They're also a geek. And that's what makes my heart happy, is being able to go here and being able to reflect and look back, and plus, you know, get to see cool things, do cool activations. Like, I got to go to this Dungeons & Dragons tavern for the brand new movie where they showed clips and stuff, and then had a dragon invade in and start breathing steam and fire into the lair, and we got free alcohol, and that was freaking cool. And then even from there, another activation we got to go do was this FX one, which it was all the FX shows going on right now, like American Horror Stories, Little Devil, I think is what it's called, and some other elements of that. And What We Do in the Shadows, and we got to experience and go through this hedge mage, which was freaky and scared me, and those activations are cool. I didn't get to do all of them. There were some that I wanted to do, like House of Dragons, Severance, and Walking Dead, that the lines were too long, so I wasn't able to do it. But you go and look those up. They're fascinating. They bring those worlds to life. And that's what I'm so happy with in this manner, is what Comic-Con does. So let's start out through my day. So me and my friend left at 2 a.m. on Thursday morning to get there, so that way we could get to the Dungeons & Dragons panel. Now, this is the Hall H panel. If you're press, you can get a little bit more lucky with doing that. But, you know, shout out to all the people who do go out actually and wait in line for Hall H all night. Like, you guys are troopers. I would never be able to do that, but, you know, there's an experience there that you can have with your friends, your family, whoever you wait with. And so for me, get there on Thursday, go pick up our vaccine wristband, go and, what is it? We start trying to figure out where the line is. Get the line, figure that out, and then we're into the Dungeons & Dragons Hall H panel, which then the entire cast, the directors, all came out. You had the likes of Chris Pine, you had Michelle Rodriguez, Reggae from Bridgerton, which a lot of people were big fans of, Sophia Lillis, no Justin Smith, though, and also the directors, of course, of Game Night, and Hugh Grant as well, which Hugh Grant was absolutely stupendous during this panel. He was so freaking funny, you can tell. And I didn't know how big of fans Dungeons & Dragons fans were to these actors. Like, besides Hugh Grant and Chris Pine, everyone else was a pretty big fan and had some love for it, specifically the directors, also did a little film called Game Night, which if you've never seen that film, it is one of the best comedies in years. Love, love, love that movie. But going into this, Dungeons & Dragons was a blast. And we got to see 2 clips. The trailer is now out online, so you can go watch that if you want to. The trailer is pretty fun, but the clips that they showed infuse an aspect of Monty Python and Game Night. And if you love those two, you're going to really like this, because one of the scenes was very much more humorous, and the humor in there absolutely made me laugh. And then the other moment was a little bit more action. And honestly, as someone who's never played Dungeons & Dragons, never really dove into it, I want to play this all the time now. It's freaking awesome. I love it, love it, love it. Then jumping in next, the next thing we went through is just went and looked around the exposition hall. So I actually did get some cool things that I want to show. I can't show that yet, but we'll show off some of the cool things that I first off got. So I got there's these things called limited run games, and they do games that might go on consoles like digitally, but they never put them physically onto those. So I'm a big fan of the No More Heroes games, specifically the first one. And I'm doing them backwards, but the No More Hero games, the third one is on the Switch right now. I still have not played it, but these first 2 games went on, I think, the Wii, And they were like two of the first, like, I was like, what? There's an M-rated game on the Wii? So they put these on there, but they're on the Switch digitally. I wanted them physically, as well as Samurai Jack Battle Through Time. This is a game that I had a lot of fun with when I first played it, but the fact that I can now own it physically, if you guys know me, I'm a big physical media collector, so I had to have that. And the other thing I ended up picking up was a Moff Gideon hot toy. Now, Giancarlo Esposito is like one of my favorite actors in Hollywood, and I absolutely love Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian show, so this was like a must-buy for me. Also, specifically because he's like $285 with shipping online, and the vendor was only selling him for $240. At the end of the day, very easy. Now, I did pick up some other things, which I'll talk about in a second when I did to those. But overall, day one, a lot of fun. Got to meet up with a lot of the cool people, like Cinemania's whole podcast, Dwayne, Alyssa, Kayla, and as well as got to hang out with Leo from Geekly Goods, alongside even my best friend, Phil, who got to come with me. So a lot of fun things there, but Friday was another big day. Hall H, we got to go to Hall H. And, you know, we made it, got into Hall H. We got to experience the Lord of the Rings panel, which was a lot of fun. It actually brought me a little bit more hope for the show. The entire cast was there. Stephen Colbert was actually the moderator for it was a lot of fun. I low-key was hoping that they were going to show us the first episode. They didn't. They just showed us clips and some cool scenes. And, again, got me back into the world of Lord of the Rings. Actually really excited for this show now. Then up next, the next panel that we went and saw was the Walking Dead panel. There's two of them. Tales of the Walking Dead and Walking Dead. Now, Tales is an anthology series. Terry Crews is in there, as well as, if you are still up to date with The Walking Dead, Alpha, the girl who played the main Whisperer, is actually getting her own series, or her own episode in here that tells her origin. Very excited for that. I was more interested for The Walking Dead one, because as a lifelong fan, the first TV show I really got into was The Walking Dead. And this was the show that I was really excited to see. And to see how this actually all works, fundamentally worked, having most of the cast there, and just having all these big surprises, and seeing how much this fan base actually still is into The Walking Dead who's there, it was an emotional ride, and it was an emotional ride for them because this is their final time there. I understand they're doing spin-offs and things like that, but this was one of my favorite panels just for the pure emotion that they actually brought to the scene, and I was really pleasantly surprised by that. Alongside, the best element of that all was the fact that they brought out Michonne, Denai Guerrera, and Rick Grimes himself, Andrew Lincoln, and they announced that they aren't doing a movie anymore, they're doing a 6-episode series, and that made my life. I was so freaking happy that they finally announced that it's coming next year, and we don't have to wait long to see their story end. I still believe that Rick Grimes himself is showing up in the finale, but how did he get there? I think we're going to find out soon. Next up, we had Dragon Ball... No, actually, before this, we actually had the Keanu Reeves Berserker panel, which... It's about his comic book. They gave us this awesome artwork. Now, I've only read a little bit of the first volume. I actually went ahead and bought every single comic that is so far released for this, so now I can catch up with it. They announced that they're doing an anime with the studio who does Ghost in the Shell. Awesome stuff. Keanu looks great. I'm excited for Berserker. Then we went to Dragon Ball Super, which we got to see the first 20 minutes of Dragon Ball Super Superhero, the movie. This movie looks awesome. I wasn't a big fan of the animation when I first saw the trailer, but let me tell you, after watching this trailer, after watching the first 20 minutes, I'm a little bit sold. Starts off a little bit slow, but once you get into the first action scene between Piccolo and another character, it is badass. So happy that Gohan is the main character here. So, after that, we ended the day with the two activations, like I mentioned. We went and did Dungeons & Dragons and FX, and that was kind of it. You know, we went along. Oh, and we also got this cool button for attending the Dragon Ball Super panel, which was fun. But Saturday was the big day. Saturday was the day to be there. And going Saturday, we knew we were going to be in Hall H literally from sunrise to sundown. And that's exactly what happened. Because going to Hall H, it started out with DC. And Dwayne Johnson gave us this thing, which actually I wish it lit up at home, but it lit up there when he came on stage as Black Adam. Now, I'm jumping ahead of myself too much because Shazam was the first panel that they discussed, and it just looks like a lot of fun, all the new elements that they're bringing into Shazam Fury of the Gods, and I love Zachary Levi, I love that cast. Lucy Liu looks awesome, and Helen Mirren sent in a video chat with Rachel Zegler, and she said some funny shit to Zachary Levi, saying how much of an honor it was to kick his ass around set. Love that. Black Adam was the one that I think a lot of us were looking forward to. It's the film that we're getting first, and while we did get the first Shazam trailer, Black Adam gave us a new clip, which makes me a little bit more excited for the film. I really did like the first trailer, but this clip was awesome. And then seeing Dwayne Johnson come out on stage as Black Adam, electrifying everyone, literally the crowd, was just fantastic. Like, I loved it. I'm more excited for this than I ever was. And now jumping in, we have House of Dragons. Honestly, very disappointed with that panel overall. Got me even less excited for the show, but we got this cool poster, so I'll take that. And I like the poster, and I'm still hoping that I end up enjoying the show when it does debut. Then we saw the Star Trek panel. I want to see some of the shows. I want to not see some of these shows. I'm not a huge Star Trek fan anymore, but maybe I need to jump into these. I've heard the newest one, Strange New Worlds, is really good, so we need to watch that. Then they had this awesome Entertainment Weekly panel, which was very much female empowerment, and I love it. And I really love that San Diego Comic-Con decides to put this right before the Marvel panel, because that's when it's going to get the most eyes, and thankfully it did, because they say a lot of great things about what is going on in the industry and what isn't. And I think these are elements that I wish people would actually clamor onto and grab onto, because without that, we're missing out so many different elements. And I was really happy to see how Entertainment Weekly and in general San Diego Comic-Con was able to touch in that. But of course, the biggest overall thing was Marvel Studios. How was it being in there for Marvel Studios? Well, it's beyond anything else I've ever experienced. The room is electrifying. And I was there in 2019, and the crowd energy is just right there. It's like a religious experience. And that's where I think, like, getting into Hall H and waiting, it is worth it for just like this. And we got to see footage for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium, which was great. We got to see footage for Secret Invasion, which was awesome. We got to see footage for freaking Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which was amazing. And then even going further there, Black Panther's trailer premiered there, She-Hulk's new trailer premiered there. And we got the whole announcement of all Phase 5, as well as 3 things coming in Phase 6, and some small release dates in there that I'm sure we'll find out at D23. And for me, like, waiting all day, while I was pretty disappointed with, like, 3 of the panels, I overall really loved it. And I love the energy that Kevin Feige brings in the room and everyone's reactions that they get in there. And for me, this is what makes film so important, what makes being a geek so important. So if you're asking yourself, should you go to San Diego Comic-Con? Yes. Now, I am press. That's something I do need to preface. I do have, some exclusive stuff that I get to be into, and it makes it a little bit easier. But even if you're not press, and you're just someone who's a geek, maybe someone who's an outcast, maybe someone who feels not seen, because I've been there before, and sometimes I still feel that way. San Diego Comic-Con is your home. You can dress up, you can cosplay, you can do all those fun things. You can be who you want to be without people judging you. I'm sure there's still people judging, but there are more people like you there than there isn't. It will remind you that the world is okay. I think San Diego Comic-Con is one of the best places to go, and it's honestly, like, as I'm looking at it, I have more fun going to Comic-Con than I do film festivals, even though I do prefer to just, go and watch movies, because for me, I feel like it's not as prestigious, and people can sit there and have fun. And that's what I love. That's why I started this channel, was to have fun. So I had fun at San Diego Comic-Con 2022. I'm exhausted, but what can I say? It's definitely worth the time. If you can get a ticket next year, absolutely do it. If you're someone who wants to cover San Diego Comic-Con, start a channel now, start a blog, start making some fun content, because that is what I really would recommend. So other than that, guys, thank you so much again for watching this and enjoying this laid-back video as I talk about San Diego Comic-Con and all sorts of things like that, and giving my overall review for it. I think it's pretty comparable to 2019, like nothing too much where I was like, oh, this was terrible, oh, this was terrible. It was the first year back, and overall for that, it's pretty damn good. So with all that said, guys, thank you so much again for watching this, and of course, until next time, stay classy.